everyone, it's Miss Carlye, and happy Friday. I'm here with another First Chapter Friday. Today I'm going to be reading The Midnighters. So this is about a girl in 18th century Bohemia, which is where modern day Prague is. And her name is Ema Vašková. And she is kind of the odd one out in her family. Everyone in her family are scientists, but she kind of has more mystical powers. Like, she can predict things before they happen and things like that. So she feels out of sorts until she's sent to Prague to live with her uncle. And there she meets a girl that's kind of similar to her, and her name is Silvie. So they kind of form a friendship until one day Silvie goes missing. So then it's up to Emma to figure out where she is. And so this book is adventurous, it's mysterious, it's got a little mysticism in it. So I'm going to start by reading the prologue to you. So, prologue. Prague, Kingdom of Bohemia, December 12th, 1877. It was a night so dusky, the street lamps looked like fallen stars. A night seized by a fierce frost, which crept up the spires of Prague until they glimmered like diamond stalagmites, then inched across the Vltava River until its entire surface was as smooth as marble. It was a night that would bear a new small life, and, alas, a smidge of death. The Vaškov residence stood tall, wide, and regal on the southwestern corner of big old town square, looming smugly over the ancient, brightly painted zodiacs of the astronomical clock just across the street. Despite the late hour, all 12 of its ornate windows were aglow, revealing a well-to-do household abuzz with nervous activity. On the ground floor, maids raced between rooms with buckets of water and fresh linen. On the first floor, Karl Vaškov sat in his leather armchair, puffing profusely on a Toscano cigar, while the three eldest Vaškov children played cards by his feet. On the second floor, 6 younger children were eating a box of Swiss chocolates they pilfered. On the third floor, a tired-looking nursemaid was slumped in a rocking chair, having given up on trying to get the 2 smallest, crib-scaling children to sleep. And on the fourth floor, Milena Vašková lay in bed, surrounded by midwives, wondering what was taking this baby so much longer to appear than all her others had. The already large Vaškov family was about to grow by one. Across the frozen river, another residence stood, narrow, crooked, and forlorn, at the bottom of a dark street below the lamp-lit castle. All its weather-beaten windows were dark, except for the round one just below the gabled roof. It glowed like a single golden eye, staring ominously out into the gloomy night. Beneath the creaking rafters of the attic room, the soon-to-be-born child's grandmother, Liliana, lay in her bed. Yellow candlelight trembled across her age-weathered face, revealing the feverish sweat that glistened on her forehead. A man wearing oil-splattered overalls sat on the edge of the bed, frowning down at Liliana in concern. "Milena's new child is on the way," Joseph said, dabbing his mother's brow with the cleanest corner of his handkerchief. "Isn't that wonderful, Mamika?" "It's terrible," Liliana muttered. "Worse than terrible, in fact. Nothing short of hellish." That's no way to speak of a new grandchild. The other 11 children all seem perfectly tolerable. I'm sure this one will be too." Liliana seemed not to hear him. "It's bad enough that it's the 12th child, but born on the 12th day of the 12th month too? A mere coincidence. I caught you eating 12 fruit dumplings this morning. Well, you can hardly blame me. Those things were divine. There were 12 crows circling the tin spires. You're giving me 12 different headaches right now." Liliana's eyelids fluttered weakly. Her voice dropped to a raspy whisper. "This new child. I sense. Mamika, let's not get into prophecies again. It wears you out. I sense dark shadows, and I see. She squeezed her eyes closed, then immediately snapped them open again. An eyeball. Joseph let out a long sigh. Just the one? Liliana's bleary gaze sharpened as she turned it to where many ink-smeared words had been scrawled on the wall. This new child is the one I've been dreaming about. Joseph pinched the bridge of his nose. You should sleep. The doctor said you'd feel better in the morning. The doctor was wrong, Liliana whispered, summoning a weak smile. My time is nigh, and I am more than ready. Don't say that. One day you'll believe me again, Liliana rasped. One day you'll see I'm not the foolish old woman your sister thinks of me. I don't think you're foolish, but you are rather pale. Across the river, the clunking gears of the astronomical tower echoed through big old town square. Despite being too far away to hear it, Liliana turned her gaze in its direction. On the top floor of the Vaškov residence, the scream of a newborn baby filled the air, and at the same moment, in the candlelit attic room, Liliana sagged into her pillow. The baby's first breath had coincided precisely with Liliana's last. The astronomical clock began to chime the hour. 12 strikes. Midnight. All right. So that was the prologue, and it seems like the main character's birth is going to be just as strange as the rest of her life. So if you want to read what happens after she's born, then you guys can come to the library, you can call us, and you can put this book on hold. The Midnighters. All right. So thank you guys for joining me. I hope you have a great Friday.